The truth about Canelo and Terence Crawford is that one fighter has lost before, the other hasn't. And a lot of you guys are gonna come at me, but that's what Terence Crawford's trainer even said. He said Crawford doesn't know how to lose. He knows how to get the job done, and he's confident come September 13th against Canelo Alvarez that he's gonna get the job done. And it makes sense, you know, Bomac, Terence Crawford's trainer, talked about how we've seen Canelo fall a little short before. We saw him fall short against Floyd. We saw him fall short against Dimitri Bivol. And not to say that Terence Crawford is necessarily either one of those fighters, but he's great too. You know, Terence Crawford's a great fighter. I think he's one of those elite fighters that could give and will give Canelo Alvarez a lot of trouble. That's why I always talk about Canelo really has to have that fire lit in him to pull off this win, because I think either fighter, I think they both have to pull off, you know, the best performance of their lives to win, because Canelo can't just go in there and think he's gonna land a magic punch. You know, I don't think Canelo's gonna land it if he just Hail Marys the whole fight. You know, if he just throws one shot, he's gonna have to throw combinations. He's gonna have to turn back the clock and bring back that vintage Canelo Alvarez that we haven't seen in a while, maybe since Caleb Plant. And I just feel like Canelo Alvarez, he hasn't shown us recently that he has that dog in him. He has that killer instinct that, you know, even if a fighter is running away, that he's going to catch him. If he has a chance to corner him, he's going to step on the gas. I just haven't seen that from Canelo Alvarez as of recent, but maybe this is the fight that, you know, tells Canelo Alvarez, let's wake up. But, you know, I just have a feeling like I agree with Terence Crawford's trainer that, you know, Canelo has lost before. He's okay with that mentality of losing and saying, okay, I did my best, you know. That's what Bomac said. So I feel like just hearing that was interesting, because you have to start to think to yourself, like, is Canelo okay with losing in the back of his mind? Because he's done it before, you can do it again. They always say, you know, losing the first time is the hardest, but if you can lose once, you could definitely lose twice. You look at a guy like Terence Crawford, people hate on his resume, but guess what? Undefeated. He stopped every welterweight that he's ever been in the ring with, and he continues to put on good performances. You could say what you want about Madrimov at 154, but Madrimov's not an easy fighter. He's an awkward fighter. Canelo doesn't have the same style as Madrimov. I'm not saying that Madrimov is better than Canelo, but styles make fights at the end of the day. Real fight fans know that styles make fights. And to really understand that, you got to look at Canelo and Crawford. Everybody's thinking about whether or not, you know, the vintage Canelo is going to come back. And if he comes back and manages to, you know, set up a big KO shot that sleeps Crawford, then well play, you know, fair play to Canelo Alvarez. But the thing is, like, I don't see it happening unless, you know, Canelo really turns back the clock. You know, he really has to, like I said, get that killer instinct back to get that knockout. You got to be in a certain place mentally where you're constantly thinking about punishing your opponent and you're in attack mode. If you just sit back and kind of coast through the fight and try to win rounds, you know, there's a good chance that Terence Crawford has the opportunity, the skill set and capability to outbox Canelo. But if Canelo goes in there and, you know, has a lot of energy, like I said, that gas tank is firing, and, you know, he's done the work, you know, in the gym, worked hard, eat the right things, done everything the right way, and has good endurance and can throw a lot of punches, I feel like he could potentially stop Crawford. Of course, that's a possible outcome, but I just feel like Crawford, he's smart, man. Like, people are going to be shocked. A lot of the Canelo fans in particular are going to be shocked about what they see come September 13th. You know, it's like I said, this video is to talk about Canelo's mentality. Like, he's felt what it feels like to take an L before. Crawford's never felt that. So I'm sure, you know, Crawford down deep inside his heart is thinking to himself, there's no way I'm losing this fight. And he said it vocally, like, he's not scared of anything. He's not scared of Canelo. And like I said, you know, Crawford's never lost. He's never experienced what it's like to lose. I think in the sport of boxing, if there's one person that hates losing, it's Terence Crawford. You know, he hates losing more than I've ever seen another fighter hate losing, you know, since Floyd, since a guy like Pacquiao, since all of these legends have fought. You know, Crawford really does not want to lose at anything, not even boxing, you know, let alone boxing, you know. So I feel like Crawford's going to pull out the win come September 13th if he, you know, implements the right game plan. And, you know, same thing with Canelo. It's a close fight, but I think that, you know, one guy, we've seen him fall short. The other guy, we've never seen him fall short. You know, we've seen him have some rocky moments where, yeah, he's got hurt before, but, you know, those guys have had the footwork and precision. Canelo hasn't shown us that he has the ability to stop somebody in some time now. So I got to favor Crawford in this one, but it's still a close fight, a 50-50 fight regardless. But I would bet on Crawford, you know, personally. But, you know, obviously Canelo's the favorite for a reason. There are weight classes for a reason. But I just don't trust Canelo's gas tank. I think Crawford is, you know, mentally the stronger person, and that's going to show on fight night. So we'll see what happens. Let me know down below what you guys think. Canelo versus Crawford, who you guys got. But hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you guys on the next NAS Boxing video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.